यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहित प्रज्ञान घन प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्माहमस्मि सोहमस्मि ब्रह्माहमस्मि। ओम प्रपन्न पारिजाताय तोत्र वेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। May the Almighty Shri Lord Venkateshwara bestow all kinds of prosperity, health with great immunity, wealth and eternal happiness with Paripurna Lakshmi Katakshams to you and the entire your family and friends. Let us begin Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the chapter number 18 and verse number also 18. Let us read it. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Jnanam Jneyam Parignyata Trividha Karma Chodana Karanam Karma Karteti Trividha Karma Sangraha. The title of this chapter is called Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. Now, moksha is the benefit of Bhagavad Gita. When you study Bhagavad Gita, what is the main benefit is moksha. And the process is called a sannyasa. Okay, that is the meaning of the title. And this chapter is a summary of all 17 chapters. Now, that summary also Bhagavan has given as a 3 unique ways. The first we saw from verse number 1 to 17. It was the unique approach through which Bhagavan Krishna introduced Karma Yoga. As the aspect of Karma Yoga, what is the benefit of the Bhagavad Gita? I mean, the Karma Yoga is the first summary. Okay. Now the Jnana Yoga is being summarized by Bhagavan Krishna. Now, Jnana Yoga means what? A yoga means a sadhana, a spiritual process which is completely dependent on the inquiry. What is the inquiry? Karma means what? Karma means that which is performed in the form of action. Action is called karma. Action requires what? Action requires a driving force. What is the driving force of the action? The driving force of the action, immediate driving force. Okay, immediate driving force of any action, it needs to have a driving force. Okay, that driving force is the desire. Okay, desires are the driving force. Without desires, we cannot perform the action. The desire can be also in the form of anger, because unfulfilled desire is converted to as an anger. Okay, that expression of the anger can be the action. Desire, in order to fulfill the desire, we make the effort and we bring the effort in the form of action. But the desire is because of what? Knowledge. Knowledge is the main source for the desire. Now Bhagavan says, so karma has got the driving force. What are the driving forces that causes for karma? Bhagavan says 3 kinds of driving forces. I mean 3 kinds of promoters have described by Bhagavan Krishna. For the example, a friend is describing about his experience in a new hotel. He says, wow, what kind of the taste, we had breakfast and lunch, dinner. superb, all this vegetarian food I never had, like delicious food I never had like this. He describes, and who was listening to it? He got a kind of knowledge about that hotel. Now in his mind, the desires are generated. Desires are generated due to the knowledge. You should have the knowledge. Without knowledge, there is no desire. Therefore, now the knowledge becomes one of the promoters. Okay, and knowledge has to depend on that object. Now the object also becomes a driving force or promoter for the actions. Okay, not only that, that knower of that knowledge, the receiver of knowledge who is in the form of the knower, okay, that knower also becomes a promoter of action. That's all. Life is only these three things, okay, three phenomena. Now this is called vyavahara. Vyavahara means transaction. We do only two kinds of transaction. The first kinds of transaction is, we call it knowledge based vyavahara, jnana vyavahara. Jnana vyavahara means what? We receive the knowledge. Being a knower, I come to know about an object. I come to know about the object. I come to know means what? I receive the knowledge about those objects. Now the knower, knowledge and known, three things have been come. This is known as jnana vyavahara. We earn lots of knowledge, we receive, we keep on receiving the knowledge. This is the process, this is the main process of entire our life. We come to know about so many things. Therefore, every half an hour there is a new car, new mobile, new designs are introduced, launched in this nation. Therefore, what? The knower becomes always engaged, coming to know about new things. The new things brings new desire, new experience. The mind will be craving to have that new experience in order to hunt that experience. Then what happens? Once the jnata means knower of that knowledge, sets the desire, then the desire converts him, being in the position of knower. Now he becomes as the doer. Now he gets that transformation. The knower is transformed as a karta, a doer. Okay, doer means karta should have the instruments, karanam. Without karanam he cannot. He should have the car or bike to reach that hotel. So when he goes to the hotel, he should have karana's eyes, taste buds, tongue and hands, all indriyas. Therefore, karta with karanam. Two things. Then what? And karma. Those objects, all those dishes, whatever the dish that he had, maybe idli, dosa, roti, whatever, that dish. That's all. This is karma oriented vyavahara, karma vyavahara. Knowledge vyavahara, we receive knowledge as the three kinds of chodana. Then karma sangraha, when you do the karma, when you perform the karma, you need three kinds of things. What are they? Karma, karanam, karta. You need to have object and you should reach there. You should make effort. You should become karta. Then that becomes karma. Then karana. By using that, you place the action. I call it placing the action or producing the action or expressing the action or manifesting the action. That's all. These six kinds of things have been introduced by Bhagavan Krishna here. And these six kinds of things, they are combined into three because the parijnata, the knower, is converted as a doer, become one. And jneyam means where the knowledge exists, that becomes the place, a target, karma. Karma means object. Now knower becomes the subject, the known object becomes the goal as the object. Jnana means the knowledge which exists in the mind, mind with the knowledge of organs, the both becomes one. Now you see, jnanam, karma, karta, only there is three topics: doer, then the object, then the knowledge. These three things are the main topic. 6 becomes 3. That is what is introduced in the verse number 19. Jnanam karma cha karta cha tridhaiva guna bhedatah prochyate guna sankhyane yathavachrunutanyapī. That's what. So when we come to know, we call it janati. Janati means what? We learnt about the things. Then what? We desire. Ichchati. We generate the desire. Then yatate. We make effort for that. This is what the life is. Learning the things and bringing the desire and making the effort to gain them. That's all called is life. Finally, that 3 job, learning about the things, having desire and making effort, the efforts are divided into 2 categories: pravritti, nivritti. If I desire, I make effort to reach towards that. If I dislike it, then I make effort to get away from that. This is what is called as life. Now, these 3 topics, jnanam, karma, karta, these 3 are the main source of our life, which are divided into 3 gunas. Okay, from here, Bhagavan is going to talk about 6 kinds of topics. 6 kinds of topics means what? Jnanam, karma, karta. These 3 are going to be the main topics. And when these 3 make a kind of karma, these 3 together perform the karma, there are impacts. So one more thing is buddhi, and another thing is dhriti, another thing is sukham. So 3 more subjects will be explained with these 3 topics. So totally there are going to be 6 topics up to verse number 40. Now in this verse, in the 19th verse, Bhagavan says, Jnanam, Karma, Karta. These 3 topics have been divided according to the guna in the Vedanta. Sankhya means in the Vedanta. That's all the meaning. So now, for topic number 1 begins from the verse number 20 and ends with verse number 22. The subject is Jnanam. So knowledge is 3 kinds. So 3 kinds of knowledge. 3 kinds of knowledge means you have to remember they are divided according to the Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, Tamo Guna. Very simple. All these 6 chapters are going to be divided according to the norms of Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, Tamo Guna. That's all very simple. Okay. Now let us begin. Sarvabhuteshu yenaikam bhavam avyayam ikshate avibhaktam vibhakteshu tajnanam vidhi satvikam. First driving force is knowledge. Okay. That is the main thing which channelizes your karma, your entire life. The direction of the life is selected by the knowledge. What is the supreme knowledge? Satvika knowledge is the supreme knowledge. What is that? Sarvabhuteshu yena ekam bhavam avyayam ikshate. The knowledge which brings oneness in this universe, which brings oneness between you and Ishvara, which brings oneness between you and the world, which brings oneness between your friend and you, which brings oneness between your enemy and you. So which brings always oneness, Advaita Jnanam. That is considered as a Satvikam. Avibhaktam vibhakteshu tadjnanam. Because the creatures are many, varieties. World means varieties. Creation means varieties. Among these variety, the knowledge which helps us to set a samatvam. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Which brings samadarshanam. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavi hastini shunischaiva swapakecha pandita samadarshinaha. Samadarshana. That Samadarshanam is called Satvika Jnanam. That's all. One division. Then the next. What is Tamasika Jnanam? Okay. Prithakvena tu yajnanam nana bhavan prithakvidhan veti sarveshu bhuteshu tajnanam vidhi rajasam. The knowledge which brings the divisions. That knowledge which brings more taratamya, means the difference among the people, superiority, inferiority complex, that which causes for all kinds of complex, that which brings the difference, varieties in its nature. So because when you see a mango tree, you just learn that this is a mango tree. Mango tree. The mango tree is different than other tree. It specifies, this is like a worldly education. If you study botany, you learn the difference among plants. That's what botany. If you learn zoology, you learn the system, physical system of every creature. If you learn chemistry, you learn all the difference. Therefore, the worldly education, materialistic education is known as Rajasika Jnanam, which brings the difference among the people, So if you are a doctor, you go with a superiority complex. Usually doctors won't. But sometimes, people who are filled with rajas, they feel, I am the doctor. I am the doctor. I am the doctor means what? I am the God. That kind of superiority complex. If you are a clerk in office, I am clerk, That's the different, which causes for all kinds of problem, superiority, inferiority complex. And now also, if you have money, I do have money, I am a tycoon, I am a billionaire, I am a poor person, I am a middle class person. This kind of differences are brought by the knowledge which is called Rajasika Jnanam. Then the last, Tamasika Jnana means what? Yettu krishnavade kasmin karye saktama haitukam atatvarthabadal pancha tattamasamudahritam. The wrong knowledge is called Tamasikam. That's all. The wrong knowledge. Wrong knowledge means what? Misunderstanding with all the object of the world. Misunderstanding body as his own self. Superimposing the Atma as Anatma. Always, if you talk to those people who are occupied by tamas, they will own this tamasika jnana, the knowledge which becomes a driving force for adharma karya. Okay, that's all. Three kinds of knowledge have been expressed. See, yatu, that which krishnam ekasmin karye saktam ahaitukam atatva arthavat alpam. That which doesn't understand the reality, that which doesn't care about the truth, that which brings always delusion in the actions, that knowledge is called Tamasika Jnana. Now you see, if a person is endowed with Sattvika Jnanam, he will lead a spiritual life. For him, this life is heaven. Okay? If a person has got Rajasika Jnana, he will start competing with others. For him, it has to be achieved. He wants to establish dharma. He is a good person, but wants to establish dharma. Tamasika knowledge, which gives a wrong understanding about whole life. That's all the topic of jnanam is completed. Three kinds of jnanam. Then the next topic begins Trividha karma. Three kinds of karma. Because knowledge becomes the driving force of karma. So Sattvika person will be driven to what kind of karma? That is going to be told here. So this topic is from 23rd verse to 25th. Let us begin. Niyatam sangarahitam aragadveshatah kritam aphala karma yattat satvikam uchyate. So the person who has got sattvika jnanam, the sattvika jnanam will drive him towards the spiritual activity. Niyatam sangarahitam araga dveshatah kritam. That person will perform without selfishness, with a balanced mind. And not only that, he will detach with his own karma. He will perform karma with detachment. Detached with the result of action. His action will be considered as a sattvika action. Okay. Then what about rajasika karma? Yattu kamepsuna karma sahankarena vapunaha kriyate bahula yasam tadrajasamudahritam. When a person is driven by rajasika jnanam, the karma also is going to be rajasika karma. That's what is rajasika karma? That which gives room for more desire, to practice more desire, to establish his own ego. Sahankarena kriyate bahulayasam. And he will be making lots of efforts, competing with others to establish his ego is called rajasikam. Then what about tamasika jnanam? Tamasika jnanam will drive to what? Tamasika karma. What is that? Anubandham kshayam himsam anapekshya cha paurusham mohad arabhyate karma yatta tamasa muchyate. The person who has got tamasa jnanam will cause for what? Moham, delusion. Mohad karma arabhyate. The person will begin the action with the delusion. What is the delusion? He will think about himself. He will think about himself like what? As though he is going to die. He doesn't know the fact. He doesn't know that the reality of his own svarupa, his own nature. Therefore what? He thinks I am going to die. Therefore what? I should have more money, more power, more people to protect me. I should not die. So always endowed with fear. That is what is called tamasika karma. Therefore, in order to protect himself, because of his insecurity, he will destroy all other security. He won't hesitate to kill others. He will do all kinds of himsatmakam karma, harmful to the society. Therefore, that karma which is considered as a tamasam. Now the topic number 3, Trividha Kartaraha. Now you see, knowledge and 3 kinds of karma actions. Now a doer of means a performer of that actions are defined from verse number 26 to 28. This is topic number 3, Trividha Kartaraha. Mukta sango naham vadi dhrityutsaha samanvitaha siddhya siddhyor nirvikaraha karta satvika uchyate. When a person is driven by sattvika jnanam, when he performs the sattvika karma, then karta becomes what? Muktaha, asangaha. Mukta sangaha means he is free from all kinds of attachment. Means he is endowed with detachment. Anahambadi. He won't establish his ego. He is with neutralized ego. Dhriti utsaha samanvitaha. The person, one who is endowed with utsaha. Utsaha means always with a pleasant enthusiasm. Not only that, dhriti, who is having courage. Siddhi asiddhyoho nirvikaraha. So he becomes, an unaffected person when there is a defeat or success. That karta, that doer is called sattvika. Then what about rajasika? Let us read. Ragi karma phala prepsuho lubdho himsatmako shuchihi hartha shokanvitah karta Rajasa parikirtitaha. Ragi, the person who has got Rajasika knowledge, he will perform Rajasika karma. Therefore, he will become what? The performer of Rajasika karma becomes what? Rajasika karta. So, how he would be? Ragi. He will be endowed with lots of desire. Desire of what? Karma phala prepsuhu. He will be attracted to the karma phalas. He will be always thinking, if I get my name in Guinness, if I reach Everest, if I become a billionaire, I will own my own flight. I will compete with these old people, idiots of the world. I will become a ruler of the country, ruler of the nation, ruler of the universe. Lubdhaha. That's what I am the ruler of everything. Himsatmaka. I am ready to sacrifice anything. Even I am ready to sacrifice my family for the sake of my improvement, development. Ashuchihi. I don't consider black money or white money. I will use everything. This is what about Rajasika Karta. Harusha Shokanvitaha. This person, when he is defeated, he becomes so sad. When he is getting success, he will become so enthused, so happy person, very happy person. That zigzag, ups and down, which is endowed with the karta, that karta is called Rajasika karta. Then what about the Tamasika karta, who is endowed with Tamasika jnanam, who is driven by the Tamasika jnanam and performs Tamasika karma? He becomes Tamasika karta too. Ayukta prakritas tabdhaha Shatho naishkritiko lasaha Vrishadi dirghasutri cha Karta tamasa uchyate. Ayuktaha, who is not focused, who doesn't have any kinds of, yoga in his life. He doesn't adapt karma yoga. He doesn't know what is upasana yoga. He won't believe in bhakti. He won't believe in making effort. So he doesn't have self-confidence. Prakritaha means he becomes stunned, useless, and he doesn't bow in front of anybody. And he doesn't know the strength of good things. Shataha, Naishkritaha. He also sometimes becomes, very aggressive to stop others to commit dharma. He violates the dharma. Allasaha. Vrishadi. Always, drowsy. Dirghasutri. He doesn't complete any work on time. He stretches. Karta tamasa. That person who is deluded, that karta is called tamasa. That's all. Jnanam, karma, karta. These three topics have been completed. Now the fourth topic begins. What is that? Buddhi. Now Bhagavan separately discuss about Buddhi. Buddhi means the karta who is endowed with Buddhi. Now Buddhi. There are three kinds of Buddhi which are described from verse number 29 to 32. Buddhir bhedam dhruteschaiva gunatastrividham shrunuhu Prochyamanamaseshena Prathaktavena Dhananjaya. Now Bhagavan introduces, two more topics. What is that? Buddhi, Dhriti. Buddhi means we can call it, intellect, but we use Buddhi itself. Buddhi means a kind of mind that which makes the decision. Okay, and Dhriti means courageousness. That. These two are again divided into two aspects. Okay, so now he talks about Buddhi. What is Sattvika Buddhi? Pravrittincha nivrittincha karya karye bhaya bhaye bandham moksham cha ya veti buddhissa partha sattviki. A proper Buddhi, the person who has got proper Buddhi, that person can understand the nature of pravritti, nature of nivritti. Pravritti means what? When he begins something, he knows what is going to happen. And also, He knows the nature of karya akarya. He knows what to be done, what to be avoided. And also he is very clear about the experiences, that which is known as bondage and moksha. It means the buddhi which is endowed with viveka shakti, distinguished capacity, is called sattvika buddhi. It knows what is right and what is wrong. It knows what is dharma, what is adharma. It knows what is anitya and what is nitya. It knows the difference between all these two opposites. It's called sattvika buddhi. Then what about rajasika buddhi? Yaya dharmam adharmancha karyam cha karyam evacha ayathavat prajanati buddhissa parthas rajasi. Now the buddhi which is endowed with rajasic nature. Okay. So that ayathavat prajanati, that which commits mistake to judge whether it is dharma and adharma. The buddhi which lacks for viveka shakti is called rajasika buddhi. The buddhi which takes as a challenge, the buddhi which is veiled by emotions, the buddhi which doesn't make a proper decisions because of imbalanced emotion, the buddhi which gives priority for emotions, personal emotions. Therefore what? That buddhi which misses to conclude in proper way is called rajasika buddhi. Therefore what? Impact will be negative. Then the buddhi which is called tamasika is described in the next words. Adharmam dharmamiti ya manyate tamasavrita sarvarthan viparitanscha buddhissa partha tamasi. The rajasika buddhi which little bit confused about dharma and adharma, but tamasika buddhi which is very clear, which will take the path of very wrong, opposite meaning. For him dharma becomes adharma, adharma becomes dharma. Just he wants to demolish everything. Sarvarthan viparitamscha. That buddhi which is culminated, the buddhi which is corrupted completely is called tamasika buddhi. Then the next topic, trivida dhriti. According to the buddhi, the person owns this dhriti. Dhriti means courageousness. Dhritya yaya dharayate manah pranendriya kriyaah yogena vyabhicharanya dhritissa partha satviki. By which dhriti, the person who is able to organize his mind and indriyas, who can stand in yoga, and not only that, the dhriti which helps to continue with sadhana, no distraction, only focused mind. The mind which is called meditative mind has got dhriti, means the strength to continue lagathar, to perform all the activities, means spiritual activities for the progress. That is known as sattvika dhriti, the strength in good activity, the courage. He is a courageous person in order to perform spiritual actions. Then what about rajasika dhritihi? Yaya tu dharma kam arthan dhratya dharayate arjuna prasangena phala kankshi dhratessa partha rajasi. With the courageousness, a person is able to fight for dharma. Okay, dharma kamarthan dhritya. He is competing for the benefit, result of karma. He organizes the Kumbhabhisheka. He is a bold one. He could manage, rule others. That is known as Rajasika Dhriti. The Dhriti means the strength, the courage by which a person can compete, by which a person can establish dharma, by which the person likes or desires to get result, is called Rajasika courage. Means the courage which goes behind karma phala is called rajasika courage. And what about tamasika courage? Yaya swapnam bhayam shokam vishadam madam evacha navimunchati durmedha dhrutissa tamasi mata. By which courage swapnam bhayam shokam vishadam madam evacha na vimunchati. He is very bold, but in wrong sense. What he has understood is very wrong. The karta, tamasika karta, but he looks very courageous. He becomes very bold. He is ready to fight. Like all asuras, they had only tamasika dhriti. The dhriti means courage, which is tamasika. They are wrong, but they are courageous. They even know that is wrong. Sometimes they don't know which is wrong, but they are courageous. Even they sacrifice their spirit, their life, doesn't matter. Now the next topic is going to be sukha, happiness. All these aspects, jnanam, karma, karta, buddhi, dhriti, all of them should bring what? Happiness. What is that happiness? Say, sattvika person will get the sattvika happiness. Tamasika karta, with the all tamasika nature, he will get tamasika sukha. And rajasika karta will get rajasika. That's all. Very simple. Let us read it. Sukham tvidanim trividham shruname bharatarushabha abhyasadramate yatra dukkhantam nan gacchati yattad agri visham iva pariname vrtopamam yat sukham satvikam proktam atma buddhi prasadajam. The sukha, the happiness, is unlimited, and which is in the form of prasada from Ishvara. Atma prasadam means what? That which comes out of Atma Jnanam, that which is the happiness which is unlimited, and that which seems to be like a poison in the beginning. When our forefathers asked me to get up early in the morning when I was a child, at that time, it was so horrible for us. It was like a punishment. I thought, I was in the imprisonment. But now I could feel the benefit of getting up early in the morning. Arambe vishameva, pariname amrta upamam. So it seems to be first like a poison, but later on it is converted as a nectar, amrtameva. That happiness is called sattvika happiness. Then what about rajasika happiness? Let us begin. Vritayendriya samyogat yattadagre murtopamam pariname vishamiva tatsukham rajasam smritam. The happiness which is born out of the conjunction of indriyas and object, means the senses and object. All the happiness which we enjoy from our organs, because they look first, as the nectar. By the time, later on it becomes poison. That sukham is rajasakam sukham. What about tamasika? Yadagre chanubandhe cha sukham mohanam atmanaha nidra lasya pramadotham tattamasam udahrutam. That which is poison, even in the beginning, in the end. All these kind of liquors, non-veg, you may feel bad, non-veg, all the wrong junk food, wrong doing, they seems to be, because, when you go against legal, means against law, you will be punished in the beginning, in the end, in the middle, always, nidra lasya pramadoktham. That which is endowed with lots of drowsiness, ignorance, delusion is called tamasika sukham. It means what? That is not sukham. When you drink, when a person drinks, he enjoys. That is not the enjoyment. His liver is spoiled, not knowing that he considers that is enjoyments. That's all. The conclusion, Bhagavan concludes. Natad asti prathavyam va Divi deveshu va punaha sattvam prakriti jair muktam edebhya tribhirgunaihi. Not only these 6 things, everything in this world is governed by 3 gunas. That's all, the topic is over. We will continue from next class tomorrow, and we will have the prayer for the well-being of the human being with the mantra of Lord Venkateshwara. Om Namo Venkateshaya, Om Namo Venkateshaya, Om Namo Venkateshaya. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.